Fear Operative, thank you for the generous $200 donation. I honestly feel like I don't deserve it, but thanks to you, I won't have to worry about games for a little while. So thank you, Fear Operative. You were what keeps the dream alive. Alright, let's get into the video. Hey everybody, man is it good to be back. For those of you that were unaware, I was moving out of state, I was packing everything up, and I was going to actually drop a video during that time, but as I was recording I noticed that the room was like very echoey because there was nothing in the room. So I decided to just, hold off on those next couple of videos because I just didn't like the way that my voice was sounding. But I'm back now, I'm still unpacking. I'm not going to actually have internet until somewhere around the 7th of February, so I'm not going to do any more gameplay videos. It's just going to be mostly commentary until then. I'm currently working off of Wi-Fi, and it's fucking 10 out of 10. But yeah, that was a quick little update that I wanted to get out there. Let's talk about AfterConflict Lost War. For those of you that are unaware or didn't know, I covered this game a little while ago. I did Indie Developer Spotlight, basically where I put up the game and ask you if you want me to cover it more. So here's a brief rundown of what the game is. AfterConflict Lost War is a multiplayer tactical FPS where players take the role of the Cold War era military factions fighting over resources and land after another world-scale war breaks out. The game focuses on providing a realistic and immersive experience of war. So yes, if you couldn't catch this is a Cold War game, and the developers at the time asked me to cover it. I said sure and made an indie developer video, and I wanted to know if you guys wanted me to keep covering it, so I put a poll up and you all said yes. So here's a follow-up to that because the developers gave me a demo to actually try out. So yes, this is AfterConflict Lost War, and I just want to mention that this is extremely early. Like, we're probably not going to see a release of this game for maybe like another year or two, but yeah, let's get into the demo. So the first thing that I want to point out is that there aren't any servers for me to really hop in and test out the multiplayer, which makes sense because I doubt that this game in such an early state can actually hold servers. So I can't really say for sure what this game is really all about because I'm just unable to really play a match. But then you might be asking yourself, what else is there to do in this demo? Well, there is a shooting range. To the likes of Squad and Postscriptum, this tiny shooting range allows us to try out and use all the equipment that is featured in the demo. So that's pretty much what we're going to be doing for this video. We're really going to be looking at the equipment and possibly the optimization of this game demo. So the demo only features the Russian character model at the moment, but I'm sure down the line they're eventually going to add the American model, which I'm curious to see what that actually looks like because I'm not familiar with the times or what the American uniform looked like back then. Like, I just keep thinking about the Vietnam uniform. But yeah, let's get into the equipment here. This demo only features 3 primary weapons. We've got the SVD, the MP133 shotgun, and the SVU. So all these weapons have some forms of customization. Let's see if we can customize our rifle here to our liking. I'm going to do the same with the shotgun. I really like the brown parts on the shotgun. It really reminds me of like one of those old-fashioned police movies where they're using those type of shotguns. Yeah, pretty neat, pretty neat. I'm not entirely sure if the Russians actually use these type of shotguns. Like, it just kind of feels out of place for him to be holding this. Then again, I'm not entirely sure, so yeah. Pretty much all when it comes to customization. I'm sure they're gonna have a lot more, but yeah, I really like it. Let's take a look at the ammo for the SVD. So there are 4 different types. We got the 7.62 by 54, sniper tracer, and armor piercing. According to the statistics that are provided next to these bullets, they all seem to be the same. According to the damage, penetration, and velocity, they're basically all the same. Like, damage is anywhere from 42 to 70, penetration is anywhere from 45 to 75, velocity is 830 miles per second, I think it is. The only thing that's different is the grouping for the sniper bullets, which says 0.2 MOA, and the rest are just 1.0. So I don't think there's really a difference when it comes to ammo type, but when the actual game comes out, maybe they're going to fix the ammo a little here so that it has more of a purpose for me to like not switch it to something else, because at the moment, like, you only really need like the top bullets if they're all pretty much the same. But yeah, you can pick and choose which one you want. Like, if you decided to get maybe 1 of each, then you can do that. You can bring 4 mags of the same ammo, or 4 of all the others, or 2 of... You can mix and match basically. So yeah, that is the ammo type for the SVD. Let's check out the shotgun. For the shotgun, we have 12x70 buckshot, 12x70 slug, and 12x70 tracer. Oh, and it looks like the damage, penetration, and velocity is actually different for all of these. So it looks like the damage for buckshot is anywhere from 15 to 25 times 9. Penetration is 15 to 25. Velocity is 400. And grouping is 50 MOA. I'm not sure what the grouping actually means. Somebody can explain that to me. The slug looks like it has actually the best damage out of all three here, with the damage coming anywhere from 75 to 125 and penetration being at 30 to 50. The velocity seems to be the same for all of these, so that's interesting. The grouping is different though. It's only at 10 compared to the previous, which buckshot is at 50, so I'm not sure what that actually means, but yeah. Tracer on the other hand is like the mid section because it's not the worst, it's not the greatest, it's just in the middle, with the damage coming anywhere from 52 to 87, penetration being at 30 to 50, which is pretty much the same as Slug, velocity is all the same. The grouping is the same as Slug too. In the demo, you're only able to bring, I guess you would call these mags, or like a shell casing, I guess you'd call it. But yeah, it seems as if you're only allowed to bring 3 whenever you decide to go into a match. Okay, that's interesting. Let's move on to the next weapon here, which is the SVU. Let's see if the ammo is any different from the SVDs. No. Okay, so the SVU basically uses the same ammo type as the SVD, which makes sense because there's effectively both sniper rifles, except this one is just like a shortened version of an SVD. I heard somewhere along the line that this was supposed to be a much bigger sniper rifle, but they shortened it. I'm unfamiliar with that, but it's from what I heard, if I remember correctly. Alright, so let's take a look at some sights here. The shotgun is obviously excluded because it doesn't have any optics. So let's take a look here. So the SVD already comes with the PSO, and might I say, it is a very gorgeous looking scope. I actually really like this a lot. I just think it really works well with this weapon. Trying it out in the shooting range anyway. Curious to know what it feels like in a multiplayer scenario. Up next we got the 1P29. I think this one is pretty cool. It reminds me a lot of the one that I've seen in Squad. Definitely not my favorite, but I think it's a scope that really gets the job done. Pretty neat, pretty neat. The next one is the 1P63. This is also one that I've seen in Squad before. I really don't like this scope on this weapon. Maybe if there was an AK, I think it would look a lot better, but the scope itself is actually not too bad. I like how there's a tint here so that it really focuses on the reticle that's actually in the middle here. I can actually see what I'm shooting at, you know? It's a good little touch there. Let's move on. We got the 1P76 up next, and this scope is actually not too bad. I would not use this for a sniper rifle though. I would more likely use this for a AK or something, because I feel like this would probably be better for an AK than it would SVD. But yeah, alright, so I'm just gonna do a montage of basically just shooting this stuff here and showing off the reloading animations, and yeah, see you after that. Looking at the sidearms, we have a pistol called the Makarov, I believe. It's a neat little guy. It comes with 9x18 rounds, and it carries up to, wow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 mags. The damage doesn't look any different. Penetration seems about the same. Velocity is alright. Yeah, so there isn't really much of a difference aside from Tracer. You can actually see the rounds going. Cool little weapon. But let's move on. Moving down into the equipment section, there are 2 equipment slots, and in these positions you can put either grenades or a medical kit. For the grenades, we got RGD5, F1, RGN, RGO. That, or you could put in the medic kit, which I believe is inspired by Escape from Tarkov. I was actually playing with the developer in Escape from Tarkov, and they were saying that they wanted to add a couple of features that were reminiscent of the game, like where you could peek your weapon over cover. They quite liked that idea. I can't really think of that many games that actually use the cheese med kit, but yeah, unfortunately there isn't a melee feature at the moment in this demo, or if there is, I haven't found it. But yeah, you have the option to actually change the way that your knife looks. It actually shows on your character right here every time that you change the color on the back of you know, the character model that's standing right there. Pretty neat cosmetic. Then you got armor here, which I'm not really sure, did these troopers wear armor back in the day? Like, I wouldn't know. Aside from the helmet, I really wouldn't know. So I'm curious to see what that's gonna look like. But moving on, we also got the head armor, which features two different types of helmets. We got the SSH-60, which I believe is the one that I'm already wearing, because I actually quite like the color. And then we also got the SSH-68, which I'd imagine with the higher number it would be a better helmet, but I think this thing looks freaking ugly compared to the previous one I had. I like that olive green. The helmet itself reminds me a lot of the helmet that was from you know, World War II, which makes me wonder, like, did the Russians like not upgrade at all because they thought that the weapons that they had were already good enough? I mean, it makes sense because the weapons were pretty good, but I'm just curious. So that's pretty much it for all the equipment that was featured in the demo here. Let's talk about how the game actually plays. The game is actually not too bad. Obviously there's some missing animations. I've noticed that the gun doesn't actually stay in the middle of your screen, like it kind of like veers off while your head is like looking somewhere else. The gun is like shooting off in a different direction. But I think the way that it works is like you're pointing your mouse and the gun kind of like follows where you're shooting, but the camera doesn't actually stay on the gun itself. I did run into a couple of glitches here and there and some crashes, but nothing too severe. On my rig, it ran pretty well. I mean, I have a good rig, so I'm not entirely sure how this is gonna fare against somebody with like a shittier rig. But overall, the optimization seemed pretty good on my end. But again, this is only offline. I would really like to see what it looks like in a multiplayer match, but obviously this game is still a long way off. When it comes to the alpha, I'll do an honest opinion on it to tell you my thoughts about, you know, the multiplayer. And yeah, so one last thing before I go, the developer actually sent me some information so that I could actually put an SKS in the game. And man, I gotta say, I really like the way that this thing looks. Let's go to customization, and right now it's plain, but you're able to, you know, change the color of the wood. Right now it's dark, but I really like the new, like, bright colored one. I think it looks sexy. You could attach a PBS-1 silencer to the barrel, and man, I don't know if that looks a little off to me. I feel like it does, but you know, just to humor myself, you know, and the people that are watching, I decided to put it on. There's also sights, the 10p8. I actually really like this sight. Let's take this puppy out into the shooting range so I can show it off. Oh man, I really like that sight. The reason why I decided to use tracer ammo is because I wanted to show out the feature that bullets actually bounce off of targets like crazy when you shoot at specific angles. Like, I wonder if the ricochet is actually gonna, you know, be able to hurt somebody or kill somebody. That would be an interesting feature. But yeah, that was AfterConflict Lost War. What are your thoughts? I mean, my thoughts is that this is a really cool demo, but I would really like to get into a match to see what's actually gonna go down with the weapons and also the players, to see if the, you know, this game is really optimized. That's like the ultimate goal here. But so far, I actually really liked what I saw and I got to try. But what are your thoughts? Is this a game that you would like to try out? Do you think it's a game that has potential? Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Be sure to like, share, and comment so I can get past that algorithm. If you're new, be sure to subscribe and ding the bell. I generally like to cover tactical games, so this is the place to go if you want to look for more of those. If you're someone that would like to donate to the channel, check out my Patreon. Just send me $2 a month. It really does help. And with that all being said, I want to thank everybody for coming out to watch, and I guess I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.